Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us here at the First Alert Desk. My name is Carly Barnett, and we want to give you a look at some of the top stories that we are covering for your Saturday. Of course, we want to keep you up to date with football programming, football season now in full swing. That means our newscasts are going to be airing later. But in the meantime, we do, of course, want to keep you posted on the top stories that are happening in the metro Atlanta area. These are some of the stories that we've been working on today, as well as some late-breaking details. This into the Atlanta News First newsroom. We have our reporter Asia Wilson on the scene. I'm going to take you here to my Twitter page because I was able to tweet out some of those photos, but she is on the scene of a shooting investigation that is happening in Mechanicsville, and we are just getting preliminary information about this. We're still waiting for officers to come out and give a full report, but we do have some details, and that is the fact that 3 people have been shot in the Mechanicsville neighborhood. I'm going to scrub through some of these pictures. Our reporter, Asia Wilson, again, taking these photos on the scene. You can see investigators out there now. Quite a large crime scene, a very large police presence. And we just spoke with her recently, and investigators are still out there. You could see these pictures were taken just before the sun went down. But we do know that 2 females and 1 male victim were shot. Additional victims and witnesses on the scene didn't sustain gunshot wounds, but they did sustain damage to their vehicles from the gunfire. This is according to Atlanta Police. Asia Wilson, she's on the scene. She is saying that she's talked to some possible witnesses. She has talked to people in the area who said that there may have been some kind of gathering, possibly a barbecue or a cookout. So still very preliminary information, but this is what we are following right now. We are going to continue to bring you updates as soon as we continue to confirm this information. But what we do know right now is that there is an active scene in the Mechanicsville neighborhood of Atlanta. 2 females and 1 male victim shot. As far as the extent of their injuries, that is still unknown. The circumstances of this shooting still unknown, but I did want to scrub through and show you some of these photos to see what is happening on the ground there. Bit of breaking news in here to our newsroom, and of course these are not the stories that we like to tell you about, but it is important to know what is going on in your communities. Here's something positive that is happening in our community. I'm going to pull this up for you now. So our very own Atlanta Hawks, they are giving back. We love to see it. This was the Atlanta Hawks and State Farm's Million Meal Pack event. Say that 3 times fast. It happened today at State Farm Arena. More than 5,000 volunteers, including Hawks players, celebrities, influencers, and political officials, they all came together to pack 1 million meals for hunger relief, and they're going to be distributed throughout the metro Atlanta area. This is just such a nice story and such a great way to see our community giving back. Our reporter Bridget Spencer was out there today, and she brings you a little bit more of what they did.
Well, it was a meal packing party here at State Farm Arena today where thousands of volunteers came together to help prepare meals and feed their fellow Atlantans. Gail Bean is busy with her acting career, but she found time to stop by State Farm Arena to give back.
I knew food insecurity was an issue, but I was not aware of how big and how many people actually go every day without eating.
She was one of the 5,000 volunteers that showed up to pack 1 million meals to distribute to 12 local nonprofits. All the food will feed thousands of Metro Atlantans. For Bean, who's from here, the issue is personal.
So we should be able to look at people who are homeless, people who are hungry, and say, that is also me, that is my sister, that is my brother.
Volunteers worked in 90-minute shifts throughout the day, packing shelf-stable, nutritious meals. The need is pretty great. 1 in 6 Georgians struggles with hunger, according to the Atlanta Community Food Bank.
It doesn't surprise me because, I've been out here kind of beating the pavement and seeing how people live and how they struggle.
There's kids in our city leaving school. They don't know if they're going to have a meal when they get home.
And with inflation, people are dealing with sticker shock.
Hunger does not look like you think it looks. Many families are working families.
The Million Meal Pack is just one way Atlantans are banding together and hoping to make sure nobody goes hungry again. In downtown Atlanta, Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.
So there we go, a little bit of balance there. Some news that you want to know, also some news that you may need to know. And here's something else that we really love to hear about. Coco Gauff surging to her first Grand Slam title at the age of, get this, 19 years old, and she came back to defeat Sabalenka 2-6, 6-3, 6-2 in the U.S. Open on the final stage today, much to the delight of a very raucous crowd that was watching her. So just so great to see. Now, she is originally from Florida, but she grew up most of her life right here in Metro Atlanta. So, of course, we want to claim her as our own here in Atlanta. We love to root for our local talent. And she was actually the first American teenager to win the country's major tennis tournament since Serena Williams back in 1999. She's obviously had such an impact on the game, and we want to share a little bit more of just her profound impact at a young age on this sport.
Joseph Stagnero and his nephew Nicholas practice their serve at Brownwood Park several times a week. When they're not working on their backhand, they've been glued to the TV.
Watching Coco, like we were watching the game last night, we've been, staying up late trying to catch all of her matches.
When Atlanta native Coco Gauff isn't busy winning matches, she's helping revamp these courts that Joseph, Nicholas, and so many other Atlanta natives and residents frequently set foot on.
For a tennis star to be focused on our local park, that was super exciting.
Coco is collaborating with organizations like Art in the Paint and others to breathe new life into this park and its tennis courts. She was just here in July for the groundbreaking.
She's a phenomenal athlete, but she's also a phenomenal person who sees the potential in kids and wants to make them realize that potential.
Watching her play is just inspiring because she's so great at everything, and so I just want to become like Coco.
Want to become like Coco. We love to see it. So we do want to give you just a quick recap of some of the stories that we are working on this weekend. Before we go, I did see that Cindy is watching. Hey, Cindy, Wesley, Nick as well, Kevin, we appreciate you all joining us and getting these updates, particularly as, like I said, we're moving into football season now, which means our newscasts are going to be perhaps airing at some unexpected times, some later times than we're used to. So we do want to get this information out. But our reporter, Asia Wilson, on the scene of a shooting in Mechanicsville. We do know at this point that 3 people were shot. Still unclear the circumstances of the shooting or the extent of those injuries. Also, some good news for you here. The Atlanta Hawks, along with a lot of other community partners, packing 1 million meals for Metro Atlanta families. Nice little heavy dose of positive news there. And, of course, Coco Gauff surging to her first Grand Slam title. So impressive regardless, and even more impressive knowing her young age of 19 years old. Something else we want to bring you tonight, I do want to mention what our reporter Joshua Skinner is working on. Of course, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and he is speaking to a pretty amazing young man who has battled leukemia himself. He has gone through chemotherapy, and now he's wanting to help other children, so a very special story tonight when you join us at 10 and 11 o'clock. In the meantime, I want to go ahead and bring you outside so we can take a look at our weekend weather. Of course, we still have Sunday, and we had that nice little bout of rain, Cutter, earlier, so you were saying we may be expecting more of that tomorrow.
Yeah, I think a little less coverage, but same general pattern. Area of low pressure, that's cooler air up above our heads. It allows the clouds to grow taller. Showers and, in today's case, thunderstorms to pop up. That same weather scenario, it is still in place, still around North Georgia. In fact, a good chunk of the southeast as we get into our Sunday. So we are not rain-free yet. Even this evening, we are still tracking showers and a couple of rumbles out there. Not much in the way of organized thunderstorm activity, yet still tracking some moisture out there this evening. We'll bring that to you here in just a moment. Do want to talk about weather, and again, within moments, you'll probably get an alert on your First Alert weather app inviting you into this live stream, so hoping that some more folks will join us here shortly. And if you don't have the First Alert weather app, of course, if you're watching as we go deeper into our evening, and then especially as we get into tomorrow with so many outdoor plans likely in play. Again, First Alert Weather app, all you have to do is search First Alert Weather or Atlanta News First in your app or Google Play Store, and this is what the home screen looks like. You'll be asked and prompted to answer a couple of questions upon downloading the app. Current conditions. If we scroll down, of course, we have the forecast, hour-by-hour radar, all of that great stuff there. And the app is free, and it's pretty easy to navigate, easy to use. So good tool to have tomorrow, and I think we will have some more viewers. So just want to slowly dive into the forecast here initially before we get into the nitty-gritty to allow more folks to join and get the forecast before we get too deep into the specifics. Also, we're live streaming on YouTube. Cindy, Wesley, Cindy Rogers, hello to you. Nick Barton, hello, watching from upstate South Carolina. Again, thank you all for tuning in and for watching this live stream. Let's take another live look outside, looking from Atlantic Station back to the east and southeast across the connector, back to Midtown Atlanta. There in the foreground, you can see, you probably saw that flash of lightning on the lower right-hand corner of the screen. We are still tracking some thunderstorms across North Georgia as well. Movie in Silence 23, the avatar on YouTube, checking in from Portland, Oregon, but originally from LaGrange, Georgia, so probably still has some friends, loved ones, and family in the area, checking in on that forecast. And again, nothing too crazy going on right now, but as you saw in that live cam, we still have some lightning on the southeast side, probably coming from this storm near and just north of Flovilla, extending from southeast to Henry County, south and east of McDonough, to Jackson, Georgia, and then over towards Monticello. I'm going to switch over radar modes, give us a slightly, you know what, I'm actually going to keep it on that original mode, give us the cleanest picture this evening. And this storm is moving off to the north. Kind of a weird movement here. We've seen storms kind of rotating around an area of low pressure that's essentially over North Georgia. This cluster of downpours pushing off to the north. It'll be into the Fincherville area by 8:53, Stewart, Georgia 9:01, High Point 9:15, Porterdale by 9:22. That's the lightning we're seeing if you are living in Midtown and if you have a vantage point south and east of the city. That's probably the flashes of lightning you are seeing. Into North Fulton we go, Milton area, Alpharetta. There is a downpour right now, not moving all that much. We'll put radar back in motion. This cell is diving to the south. Again, all of these cells moving slightly different directions, kind of pinwheeling and rotating around a weak area of low pressure that's parked over North Georgia this evening. No severe weather with these. Earlier today, we did have a few strong to severe storms up in far north and northwest Georgia. We've seen that already very low risk taper down even more. Nonetheless, still some heavy rain being dropped here in Lumpkin County, absolutely pouring near and just east of Dahlonega. Lightning was pretty vibrant over the city of Dahlonega, southern Lumpkin County just about 30 minutes ago. Over to Dawsonville in the Juneau community, already some new showers starting to develop. And then as we get a little bit further to the north, into Fannin County and eastern Gilmer County, east of Ellijay, these downpours trying to build back into the mountains. We'll put a track on this as well. Storms are pretty slow moving, and they have been trending to develop, and then they don't move very much, and then they rain themselves out before moving too much, distance-wise away from the area that they developed. And to the Bunker Hill community, that's at far north Georgia, by 9:08, Canal Lake 9:18, Maple Grove 9:21, Dahlonega is already storming, and storms will remain in your area, Lumpkin County here for the next, maybe I would say easily 45 minutes to an hour. And we'll continue to see that chance of showers overnight tonight, though in general we're going to bring that risk of thunder and lightning out of the forecast. Really just a handful of showers late tonight into the wee hours of tomorrow morning. Mainliner saying hello and watching on YouTube. Another CG saying... Again, have a great one. Hopefully you are having a great evening as well. Some of these questions still revolving around some of the news stories that we were just talking about with Carly Barnett right now. Kind of shifting gears, talking about the forecast. We're talking about rain, moving back into the picture from really all directions. In fact, I'm going to bring radar out. I'm going to zoom it out just a little bit. And we'll put this radar back in motion. And notice how showers and storms are kind of rotating around an area of low pressure. You can kind of see that counterclockwise spin with the scattered showers that we do have, Storms southeast of Atlanta are moving off to the north and northeast. Storms in far north Georgia are moving to the north. And then showers and storms in East Alabama and Northeast Alabama are pushing back to the south and west. And that's because we have an area of low pressure over North Georgia, East Alabama. This is helping to fire off some showers and thunderstorms, and first alert few downpours remain possible this evening. May have impacted some afternoon plans that you had. But we'll keep that chance going into the evening hours. Of course, less impactful because it's evening and overnight. Most folks tucking in and not too worried about rain unless there's severe weather in the forecast, and there is not any severe weather in the forecast overnight tonight. I think through the top of the 9 o'clock hour, we'll continue to see a handful of scattered showers and thunderstorms roaming the area at 9 p.m. 10 to 11 o'clock, we're going to start to drop that rain chance, though keep a chance of isolated showers in Atlanta going through about midnight. And then as we get into the wee hours of tomorrow morning, we will remove that chance of showers for the city of Atlanta. I do think far north Georgia, far northeast and east Georgia, there could be a few showers. They do linger into the wee hours of our Sunday morning. The rest of us dry, but mostly cloudy. We're going to wake up to some clouds tomorrow morning. There could even be some low clouds and some areas of fog developing late tonight into tomorrow morning, so keep that in mind. Could be a little bit of gloom out the door tomorrow morning. And then as we get into the mid-morning hours, allow temperatures to start warming up. You will notice that those clouds lift and the areas of fog that were around do develop and then eventually shift out of the area. Temperatures tomorrow morning, 69 in Atlanta, 65 Kennesaw, Sugar Hill 65, Lawrenceville 65, McDonough in the mid-60s, upper 50s, up 985, up in the higher elevations of far north Georgia. So it's going to be a pretty pleasant start out there. 64 Carrollton, mid-60s in Covington and Griffin, 66 in LaGrange. Hour-by-hour forecast tomorrow. Let's start it off kind of early in the day. We'll bring you back through 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And this is what I mean by mostly dry, but not completely dry early Sunday. Notice this particular forecast model, what a computer thinks radar will look like. Does have a few showers around in the forecast. Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., Gainesville, Hall County down to Lawrenceville. So if you're spending your Sunday morning up in and around Lake Lanier, could be a couple of showers. Obviously, big UGA game this weekend. If you're staying over in Athens, could wake up to a few showers Sunday morning. Putting this in motion, notice how rain kind of gives way to a mostly dry mid-morning. So there will be a dry stretch in there. And then we start to warm up. Temperatures back in the mid to upper 70s by early afternoon, and we'll wind the clock back here as we warm up. That creates instability. Basically, those clouds will want to grow taller, and a few showers and thunderstorms will almost undoubtedly develop. They will. It's for very high confidence forecast here, basically a repeat of all the ingredients we have today. Back in the picture tomorrow, but tomorrow I think just a few less showers and thunderstorms than what we had today. Nonetheless, here we are 2 p.m., a few showers and storms bubbling up. Still mostly dry in Atlanta until mid to late afternoon according to this model. Keep in mind, timing is a general thing here. What I will say is for any after church brunches, mid-morning plans, any yard work you're trying to get done before noon as it warms up, those should be okay. But as we get into early afternoon, and then especially mid to late afternoon, we will see more scattered showers and thunderstorms start to develop across North Georgia and metro Atlanta. Just got that alert inviting folks in on the First Alert Weather app, inviting folks into this conversation, this stream on ANF Plus. A reminder, if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, the place to be is our YouTube channel. We are streaming there right now as well. Atlanta News First is the account to like and to follow if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns. Just going to spend a few more moments letting folks kind of filter in. If you do have any questions, especially with tomorrow's forecast, a busy Sunday for many folks, and that chance of a few more showers and thunderstorms. And the picture, if you do have any weather questions, the Atlanta News First YouTube page is the place to be, monitoring the feed right now. TJ Maxx, hello to you. Douglas Ford, hello to you. Folks, again, still kind of some of those comments filtering in from it looks like our news stories just a few moments ago. And a reminder, full list of what we're working on tonight available in the Atlanta News First app and at atlantanewsfirst.com. Back to tomorrow for those that are just joining. We'll start it off early in the morning. Here we are, 6, 7 a.m. Could be a few showers, even around wake-up time over in north and northeast Georgia. Temperatures mostly in the 60s. Then we warm up to the mid-70s. Any low clouds and fog, and yeah, there could be some patchy dense fog tomorrow morning. They will lift. Clouds will lift and the fog will break. We'll be back into sunshine, even if you did wake up to some gloom Sunday morning. And then sunshine, of course, allows temperatures to warm up, clouds to grow taller, and a few showers and thunderstorms will be popping up as we get into tomorrow. I think a few less showers around on our Sunday compared to today. Nonetheless, could still be some rain around, so make sure that you have a way to be alerted to rain and storms approaching your plans tomorrow. Keep those rain and lightning alerts turned on in the First Alert Weather app. Going to pull out that 7-day forecast because we do expect a change in our weather pattern as we head into the start of the work week, trending drier by early week. So still a slight chance of rain Monday. Tuesday, down to just a 20% chance of a shower. I think by and large most are dry Monday and Tuesday, and Wednesday looking mostly dry as well, but we will have a little front working its way through. Could help boost the rain chance just a bit midweek Wednesday, but right now looking mostly dry. And notice how we do warm up. Upper 80s Monday, 90 Tuesday. Now, this is not going to be a traditional summertime like July 90, where it's also humid, but it is going to be warmer with relatively low humidity, so it won't feel too much hotter than what the thermometer reads around the area on our Wednesday. And that's ahead of a front. We're going to be cooling back down later Wednesday into Thursday, Friday, even Saturday. Look at that. Temperatures only peaking in the low to mid 80s. By Thursday, Friday, Saturday afternoons, mornings back in the 60s. That's in the city of Atlanta. So downtown, Hartsfield, Jackson, Atlanta International Airport. If you're 64, I'd say Roswell, Milton, McDonough, Douglasville, Redan, and Stone Mountain. Some of these communities could be in the upper 50s to right around 60. That's Saturday morning. So a nice into the work week, kind of a taste of fall is on the way. And a reminder, we'll continue to be fine-tuning that forecast, keeping you updated. Atlanta News First on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW affiliate coming up 10 p.m. And then back on WANF, Atlanta News First at 11. Hopefully football allows us to go on time. There's a chance we could go on late. That's why we're doing this live stream. Here to keep you updated across all platforms, AtlantaNewsFirst.com, First Alert Weather app, the Atlanta News First app. Again, thank you for tuning in and for watching. We'll see you in just a bit, starting at 10 p.m. For now, we'll leave you with a live look outside from Atlantic Station, looking off to the east towards Midtown Atlanta, occasionally seeing some flashes of lightning this evening with still some showers and thunderstorms around. Moral of the story, this weather forecast, tomorrow a few more showers and thunderstorms, but a little bit less than what we had today. So keep your Sunday plans, but also keep an eye on that forecast. Full First Alert forecast coming up starting at 10 p.m.